Please and thank you. My name is Dawg. If y'all don't know, you about to find the fuck out why. Cause y'all gonna end up saying dog. Like, why the fuck you said dog? You shouldn't have said that. I'm gonna show y'all why the fuck my name is Dawg. And I talk dog shit. God damn it. This is my first official special. Thank y'all for showing up. I appreciate y'all. I got some friendly faces. I got some new faces. Give y'all some hands. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Before I get started, I honestly said this joke last time I was on this stage. I got it started right now because the person that originated this story is in the building. Before I do that, before I get into all this shit, my wife is in the building, y'all. Give a shout out to Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster's in the building. If you don't know who the fuck Cookie Monster is, she makes wholesome cookies. There's no weed in them. I know they in baggy bags and shit that like dime bags, but there's no weed in the cookies. If you want some weed in your cookies, talk to me after the show. So a couple weeks ago, my cousin blessed me for my birthday while being in the building. And once I knew he was in the building, I told this story. Because as a comedian, some of us like to intertwine real life with our fucking jokes. So you can't tell the difference. So my cousin was here. He's here again tonight. So I got to bless my cousin Delton for real. I got to give him his credit for this. Because once I saw him in the building, I said, okay, I got to tell this joke. And now the originator of the joke or the story is in the building. So I'm giving this out. This is dedicated 100% before I do anything else to my cousin Byron. In the building. Y'all give it up for my cousin Byron. So this means so much to me because this leads into everything else I'm going to talk about as far as being a motherfucker from Detroit with country ass relatives. Okay? Y'all keep this in mind with everything else I'm going to say for the next 30, 45 fucking minutes until y'all fucking run out the building. Most of my family's from Alabama. My parents were born and raised in Alabama. I was down there most of my life growing up when they didn't want me to be the fuck up here. One of my cousins, bless him. I'm not gonna stretch this shit out because I got some jokes to tell. He went to a restaurant. You know, y'all got some relatives that's from like the backwoods. They ain't never been no place. It ain't their fault. It ain't their fault. They just ain't never been no place. So he went to a fancy restaurant with all the family. And the server came to him and said, "Sir, what would you like to eat today?" He said, I want a hamburger. Now, I'm going to say hamburger because that's how this country ass nigga pronounced hamburger. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just talking like my country ass cousin talk. He said hamburger, he wanted a fucking hamburger. So the server didn't hesitate. She was like, okay, you want a hamburger? This is where she fucked up. How would you like that served? Look, a nigga that ain't never been no place, ain't never been asked options on how his food is gonna be handed to him. So, my cousin, who he wasn't 10, he wasn't like, oh, it's a kid, he don't know no better. He was grown enough to know, like, okay, well, how do I want this hamburger? Did I order it made? How do I want it made? My cousin relayed this story to me, and he told me in such a straight tone, and I can't say it in no other way. So this is how my cousin, when the server said, how do you want your hamburger? Your hamburger. He said, you can bake it. You can bake it. That's what this country ass nigga said. He said you can fucking bake it. Look, this when I knew there was something in my blood that had to be fucking funny. Cause there was no reason that he said that shit with a straight face. You can bake my fucking hamburger. I don't know. I ain't never had one baked before. But since you offer me options, why don't you fucking bake it? Just bake it. Let's see what it tastes like. The sad part of the story, I wasn't even there when the story. Look, this one giving a shout out to my cousin Byron because he told me the story with such a straight face. He said, "Yeah, so you know the cousin I'm talking about." He said, "So the nigga," he said, "You can bake it." He didn't give him an option like, "Could you bake it?" He said, "No, you can bake it."
Facts, man, facts.
You can bake it.
Facts.
And look, for the rest of the time I'm be on this stage, I got family in the building. My wife is right there. She know the shit I did to her. They know the shit that they grew up with. Y'all can tell when I'm lying about some shit or when it's a joke, okay? When I'm telling some true shit, like, yeah, they gonna laugh. He really did that shit. So yeah, my cousin said you could bake a burger. For real, that shit fucking happened. Again, thank y'all for showing up. I want to give y'all, again, another applause. This is so special to me. I just turned 50. My birthday was recently. I'm a Cancer. Give it up. Give it up. I just turned 50. I'm a Cancer. My wife is also a Cancer. The fact that we could both get along with the same sign is really fucked up. Looking for us on the news sometime soon. Like, for real, for real. But our astrological sign is also a disease, so that's fucked up because when I'm loud and tell people like, I'm a Cancer, they start crying. I'm so sorry for you. I started off with my family because I'm going to talk about my family before I talk about myself. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So, starting off with my family, y'all, my father. This is how this going to go. My father taught me a lot about myself. He taught me a lot about why I don't respect myself because he didn't respect me at all either. He didn't love me. Never did. But I saw one day he looked at me like he respected me. That was the day my daughter was born. That was one day my daughter was born. He was like, "You actually did it, nigga. You made a child. I'm gonna give you respect for this one moment in your life. But you an asshole for everything else you did. You never did nothing else on purpose. You just been a fuck up." Look, this is how our relationship started. My parents were born and raised in Alabama. If anybody else come from the country, give yourself a round of applause. And then right after you clap for yourself, say a loud boo. Boo! Fuck y'all. My parents told me, like, yes, I was about 10, 12 years old. My parents said, you were created, we was having sex in a junkyard in a car in Alabama. And that's where you were procreated at. Now, 2 questions. Number 1, first question. Y'all couldn't find nowhere else to fuck at in country ass Alabama in the early 60s, 70s, late 60s, early 70s. Second question. Why the fuck you telling me that shit? I have no reason to know where the fuck you fucked at. None of my business. Talking about the fact that I'm 50, this also is something that came to my mind about being a 50-year-old motherfucker. When I grew up, when I was a child, my grandmother was an old bitch. Do we got some grandparents in the building? Yeah. Okay, are y'all some old bitches? Yeah. No, some of y'all ain't. I'm glad for the ones that are, but some of y'all ain't. My grandmother was an old bitch when I was 2. She was old as fuck. I got family in the building so they can co-sign when I'm lying about how old my fucking grandmother was. That bitch was old. Wasn't nobody trying to fuck Sadie. That's a real name, look. That nigga snorted. You know that's a real name. I'm talking the truth. Wasn't nobody trying to fuck Sadie when I was 2. Where the fuck these sexy grandparents come from? I'm 50 years old. Grandparents still stripping. Why you on the stage? You twerking? You got grandkids, bitch. You drop them off at daycare. Wasn't nobody trying to fuck Sadie. Sadie was old my whole life. When Sadie passed away, I'm like, damn, she was still here? She was old when I was young. Damn. I love telling the truth. Again, the burger, old ass Sadie, that's true shit. You can tell. You can tell. Again, my dad never liked me. I tried to always connect with him, but he was a country ass nigga. He just we just didn't get along because I was trying to be an asshole. I was a comedian my whole life. So my dad used to work on cars, and one day he was working in the backyard on a car, and I said, Dad, let me help you. Let me please do something. I was about 6, 7 years old. He said, no, you can't do shit, but get the fuck out the way. I said, Dad, please let me help you. He said, okay, why don't you sweep these leaves out the backyard? Now look, I'm about 6, 7 years old. I was a Detroit nigga, but I had country ass relatives. I ain't never used a push broom in my motherfucking life. I saw how a house broom was used, and the house broom is used to sweep. So I assumed that a push broom is used to sweep.
Right. No.
My dad said, sweep the leaves out the backyard. That's the one thing you can do for me to prove that you my son and I love you. And if you can't do this, then I hate you for the rest of your life. That's where I taught him. I took it. I said, I gotta prove it to my dad. He loves me. I'm gonna do it right. This is exactly how I use the push broom, y'all. I ain't gonna make this shit up. This is exactly what I did. He said, you can't do shit else for me. Just where your mama at? Go find your mama. I was trying though. I ain't been taught. You gotta give me a rule book of instructions. I was one of those kids. You gotta give me instructions for how to do this shit. Now it's my mama turn. Again, I just turned 50. I talked about my daddy. I'm gonna talk about both of them.
Right.
I'm gonna talk about all y'all. Look, I might talk about y'all too. They ain't gonna kick me off the stage. It's my show. My parents had a party store when I grew up, and I used to work for them. I used to take the bottles in. This is the early '80s. So I was a kid. I was like 10, 11 years old. I'm taking the bottles in at the store, like doing whatever they needed me to do. I'm running the fucking cash register. I'm doing a lottery machine. What the fuck you need me to do? My dad had his own desk in the office. My mother had a desk in the back room of the office. Like they both had desks in the same room. So I'm standing there watching TV as a 10-year-old child would do. Cause I'm working. What the fuck I'm supposed to do? I'm off the clock. I'm doing shit but working. I'm gonna watch TV. My father, who's looking over my shoulder, he just starts laughing. And he says, God damn, you got a big ass nose. Now mind you, he's looking over my shoulder. Is my nose so fucking big that he can see it over my fucking shoulder? That's fucked up. It shouldn't be that big. So this is what happened. My mother, as mothers are wont to do, she defended me. She stood up for her child. She said, no, nigga, don't you talk about his nose like that. He got yo mama nose. I don't know if y'all heard what I just told y'all. My parents had a yo mama fight about who gave me an ugly ass nose. And my mama won. Because she made my dad cuss her the fuck out like, bitch, that wasn't my mama nose, that was your ugly ass mama nose. But he started this fucking joke. I'm a child. I gotta go back through I'm gonna rewind that shit. My dad says, damn nigga, your nose is big as hell. And he laughs. My mother, who's in the room, says, bitch, he got the nose from your mama. He instantly took offense. The laughter stopped. Bitch, your mama got the bigger nose. And I'm watching cartoons. Dog. I went in the cooler and started drinking Boone's Farm. Look, this is where my liquor belly came from. I've been drinking liquor my whole life, like for real. Like this is where all this alcohol came from. My daddy turned, now it's mama turn. Again, my parents are from Alabama. I can't lie about that shit, it's true as fuck. I love my mother, I haven't talked to her in a while, I miss her so much. Give it up for y'all that y'all love y'all mamas. Woo! See, I ain't saying you love your daddy because daddies don't get no shit, but if you love your mama, give it a round of applause. I miss my mother. I haven't talked to her in a long time, and I miss her. You know, when you haven't, especially when things pop up in your life, and you realize how much she meant to you, and you haven't talked to her. Like, again, my mother was country as fuck. My mother told me country had shit. She said, son, you can't wash your belly button because if you wash it too hard, it's gonna come loose and your stomach gonna fall out. I swear to God, my Alabama mother told me that shit. So for 50 fucking years, I ain't washed my belly button. I just got married. I was wondering why my wife didn't want to suck my dick, right? She said, nigga, your belly look like a street when it's hot concrete, when you can see the waves, the hot fumes over it. She said, you need to do something about that shit. Damn, fam, for real. My mother told me that shit. Northland just closed. Again, stories about my mother. I'm so sad she's not here, but we gonna get to that. Northland just closed. Y'all got memories of Northland? Yeah. Give it up for Northland. My mother used to leave me in Northland. I don't mean like leaving by accident. My mother just used to she set the shit up. Like it was like a long running joke. Okay, nigga, you know I'm gonna leave if you turn your head. If you turn I'm a child. We going to get these tough skins. That's the only thing we here for. If you look at anything else, I'm going home. Now, if anybody is familiar with Northland, Hudson's on the 4th floor where the kids section was, all the boys' clothes was on the 4th floor. I'm going over there shopping with my mom. She say, nigga, pay attention. I'm gonna leave as soon as we buy these clothes. Okay. Now, once you go by the down escalator, that's where the Legos was at. Yeah, I remember. You remember that shit, right? Yeah. I'm a child. I'm gonna look at the motherfucking Lego. Mama, they got a jet plane. My mother would skip down the steps, like run home. She ain't go to another store. Like that would be nice. She went the fuck home. Like, nah, I'm leaving this nigga. I told him to pay attention. I got left at Northland so many times. I got used to the person that was in the Lost and Found for children in the 80s. Like niggas just was leaving kids at the mall. So, again, I ain't even got to no jokes yet. This is all true shit. It was a little, I'm trying to be politically correct. It was a short woman, like a short white woman. It was like a little lady. She was one of the miniature people. She was like, she was miniature. She was miniature. That's nice. That's a nice way of putting it. She was in the Lost and Found every time I went to the motherfucking Lost and Found. So I definitely can't disrespect her for whatever the fuck she was going through. She was so friendly with me, she had my own cubby set aside, like, nigga, this is your crayons and your puzzles that you didn't finish the last time your mama left your dumb ass. Wow. So, talk about my mom, like I said, I just turned 50. And give it up for grown up, y'all. Give it up for grown up. I appreciate it. Thank y'all. My mom used to call me on my birthday every year. It was something we had, like a long running thing we did. And she would, sing happy birthday to me. That meant a lot to me. She would sing happy birthday to me. And I missed that this year. And it was because she's not here. And it reminded me of one of the last times I saw my mom. She saw me do stand-up for the first time. I was doing stand-up in Ferndale off of Woodward. And this was the first time she saw me, and it was open mic, so I was just so proud that she showed up. She brought some of her friends from church. It's just beautiful. My mother seeing me do my shit. This is something I wanted to do my whole life. So I get up on stage, and when I do my 5 minutes, I basically do this joke, and I'm gonna do the joke that I did that day, just so y'all can know how my mother felt that day about her first time seeing me do stand-up. I had just had a daughter. My daughter was probably about a year, 2 years old. And as a young man, born and raised in Detroit, I know how we act around young girls and how we act around pussy. We trying to fuck. That's what we do, we trying to fuck. So as a father of a young girl, I said any kid, especially any boy that wants to come play with my daughter, when he rings the doorbell, when he comes to the front door, I'm gonna ask him, what's your dick smell like? Exactly. Your dick better smell exactly the same way it did when you picked my daughter up than it do when you drop my daughter off. If you change the soap smell of your penis, I'm fucking you up. If you got